Hey everybody, how's it going? One thing I've enjoyed about discussing right to repair on this channel over the past 8 to 9 years is that it is a uniting issue. It doesn't matter what political party you're registered with, it doesn't matter what side of the culture war you're on, it doesn't matter what you believe personally on many other issues in these highly divided political times. If you buy something, whether it's $300, $6,000, or $300,000, you own it. And if the manufacturer wants to go out of their way to restrict the reseller's ability to sell parts to people like independent repair shops or people like me or you when you own the device, or put these artificial locks in place that keep you from being able to fix the device that you own, that's bullshit. We all acknowledge that's bullshit. Whether you are in a deep red area of Kentucky or Tennessee, or whether you are in Bushwick in Brooklyn, we all agree that that is bullshit. And we can all come together and unite around this one issue. And it's beautiful to see what we can do when we unite together around these issues. One of the problems that I've had for many years, and admittedly still do, is that of cynicism and indifference. Cynicism that causes indifference. The idea that the system itself is so fundamentally corrupt that there's nothing I can do, so I might as well not even bother. It's difficult for me to explain to others why they should invest in caring, why they should put time in, when I myself often fall into the idea or fall into the trap of thinking it's pointless, it's hopeless. And there are times where I happen to be proven wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong in these times. One of the great things about being a pessimist is that when you're proven wrong, it means the world's a better place than what you initially thought. Here is the Massachusetts right to repair bill for cars. You can see over here that whether it's General Motors or Toyota or Ford or Honda or Nissan, they made lots of contributions to people like Coalition for Safe and Secure Data. And they used that $26 million to make all sorts of commercials saying that, if this thing passes, people are going to be able to open your garage door, get in your home, track you down to the parking lot, beat you, and probably rape you in the parking lot. Did people fall for it? No, they didn't. All of you spoke to your friends and your family members, and you ensured that this BS didn't happen. Here, there was a vote on it. You were able to get it on the ballot. 74.9% of people voted yes, 25.03% voted no. Right to repair won in a landslide. It's doable. It's possible if people overcome that cynicism and that idea that it's pointless. There's nothing I can do, even if I try, that nothing will ever change. Why do I bring this up? Well, in Montana and Nebraska, there are agricultural right to repair bills that would allow farmers to be able to fix their tractors again so that they can create the harvests that we all depend on to be able to actually eat. In Montana, we have Senate Bill 273, we have House Bill 390, and in Nebraska, we have Bill 543. These all have hearings coming up very, very soon, over the next week or two. And these are all bills that, if they pass, would be one step closer to right to repair passing in other areas. When I'm able to point to the fact that right to repair for automobiles passed in 2012 and then for other wireless scan tools in 2020, and that the world hasn't ended, it makes it easier for me to argue for electronics right to repair. If I can then point to the fact that agricultural right to repair passed and the world hasn't ended, then it'll make it easier for me to advocate for the right to repair in my corner of the world. And this concept of just that general indifference that stems from cynicism that causes no one to show up, it is very real. And it's one of the reasons that I record these hearings around the country that are not being recorded, that no one's showing up to, because I want you to hear what the politicians in these hearings say. I want you to hear their concerns and what they say. Here's one from Maine just from last year.
We had a room full of people very concerned about this bill, and nearly nobody from our state was here in favor of it.
What he said makes sense. He had 14 people from his state show up to say this is a bad bill. He had one person from his state show up to say this is a good bill. He had another person, me, show up from out of state, and I made all my arguments. But at the end of the day, I'm from out of state, and also 14 versus 1 or 14 versus 2. It matters when people show up from that state. Hell, it matters if people show up at all. When you have 14 people who are against something and 1 or 2 people who are for it, that doesn't really look good for that particular bill. Now, we all know the reality here. We know that the 14 people that showed up because they were paid considerable amounts of money to. And we know that the average person, if you were to ask them, hey, do you think you should be able to buy parts to fix your own car, to fix your tractor, to fix your phone? They're going to say yes. If you ask them if they're in favor of companies putting in place these artificial locks that keep you from being able to repair devices, they're going to say no. The average person in the United States of America supports the concept behind right to repair. Hell, most of them don't even know that this is a problem and think that it's ridiculous that we would even have to advocate to get right to repair. But that's not the way it appears when we go to these hearings and no one shows up in favor. We have a unique opportunity here in Montana and Nebraska over the next several weeks. And here's what I'd like to have happen. I would like people from Montana and Nebraska to figure out who their local senator, their local representative, assembly, congressperson is, and email them. Call them, or if you'd like to, and if you're able to, show up at their office, or show up at the hearing, because I believe the hearing in Nebraska is going to be a public one. Let them see that it's not 10 anti-repair lobbyists, 1 pro-repair person, that it's 10 anti-repair lobbyists, 2,000 pro-repair people, 3,000 pro-repair people, 10,000 pro-repair people. When I did my first video on ice seizing parts around 2013, I had something like 50 or 100 subscribers in this channel. When I went to visit my local politicians in 2014, I think I had about 1,000 subscribers on this channel. And I remember hearing from one of the assembly people say, well, the lobbyist said that when you run a wire on this, you're turning it into a PC, so you're modifying it, but then you're representing it as a Mac to your customer, which is fraud. The only reason that argument was defeated is because someone showed up to explain why it was bullshit. When I explained why it was bullshit, I had a cosigner for the right to repair bill. These lobbyists rely on our indifference and our cynicism. They rely on us believing that the system will never change to be able to win. It's about time that we show them that it's not the case. It's about time that we show them that it is not 14 anti-right to repair people versus 1 right to repair person, but 14 anti-repair people to 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 pro-right to repair people. It's about time that we show them a line out the door wrapping all around the block from people that want to speak in favor of right to repair. It's about time that their email inboxes and their voicemail boxes fill up with people explaining to them why this is important. What happened in Massachusetts for automotive right to repair can happen again in Montana and Nebraska for agricultural right to repair. And then after agricultural right to repair, then consumer electronics right to repair. We are close to getting back the ability to actually repair the devices that we pay for and that we own. And we have the choice to choose to not be indifferent anymore, to show up and make our voice heard. But it's up to us to do it. When I went to that Nebraska hearing back in 2017, I think I had about 100,000 subscribers. And instead of it being, a bunch of anti-right to repair people to just 1 or 2 or 3 right to repair people, we had about 5 or 10 pro-right to repair people. Now we have 1.52 million subscribers in this channel. My favor to ask all of you, let's show the anti-repair lobbyists what we're made of. Let's show these politicians in a polite, courteous, and peaceful fashion that we're not tolerating this shit anymore. That we are not tolerating the erosion of basic property rights, of the ability to service the devices that we own, that we paid for. Let's start letting it be known that our opinion is the majority opinion. And when they come up with fear, uncertainty, and doubt about us asking for source code or trying to destroy emission standards or whatever to push anti-repair legislation solely because they're losing out on sales of new tractors, let's point out the real reason that they're coming up with this fear, uncertainty, and doubt about us asking for source code or trying to destroy the emission systems or whatever. It's because they are selling less tractors, and it's because they need to increase their repair revenue from the tractors that they already sold. It's not about safety. It's not about protecting people or the environment. It's about them making money at the expense of your property rights. Let's show these legislators and let's show these anti-repair lobbyists that the majority position is the pro-right to repair position. We have the ability to do it. We have the numbers. We have the time. Now, all we need to do is overcome the cynicism and indifference. my favor to ask of all of you. Can we do that in Montana and Nebraska in these next 2 weeks? I'm going to include a pinned comment that links to pieces of research that you could submit. It's also going to link to the names of the bills, and it's going to explain how you can contact your local representative so that we can create some positive change. We're 1.52 million people strong. It's about time that we stop acting like we're the underdog and start leveraging that. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.